This is trigonometry. We are dealing with a simplification of trigonometric problems. This is part 2. We have cos of 180 degrees plus theta multiplied by tan of negative theta, all divided by sine of 360 degrees minus theta multiplied by tan of 720 degrees plus theta. Now, whenever I see something like this, I just replace this theta by 30 degrees to check my answer. Cos of 180 degrees plus theta multiplied by tan of negative 30 degrees, all divided by sine of 360 minus 30 degrees multiplied by tan of 720 plus 30. The answer that I'm supposed to get is negative square root of 3, but we are not going to get negative square root of 3. We are going to get a trig ratio that will give us negative square root of 3 when we replace theta with 30. So we are just doing this to check whether or not we got our answer correct. Cos, all trig ratios, sine and tangent. This is 90 degrees plus and 180 minus, 180 plus, 360 minus, 360 plus, 90 degrees minus. I just think that it is time wasting to always write this down when we can just memorize these parts and then memorize which trig ratio is positive in which quadrant. The first quadrant, this is 90 degrees minus. The second quadrant, this is 90 degrees plus and 180 minus. The third quadrant, this is 180 plus. The fourth quadrant, this is 360 minus. Then the first quadrant, again, it can be 360 plus and 90 degrees minus. So we have cos of 180 degrees plus. So this is the third quadrant, and tangent is positive. Cos is negative in the third quadrant. So we are going to have negative cos theta times tan of a negative angle. Now there's this thing that you need to memorize. It is about how negative angles affect your trig ratios. So sine is affected by a negative angle and you get negative sine theta, but cos is not affected by a negative angle, so you still get cos of theta. And tan, what we're dealing with, is affected by a negative angle and you will get negative tan theta. This is something that you need to memorize, so you need to write it down when you are solving your problems. So please memorize it. You don't have to memorize why. You don't have to know the reason why cos is not affected by a negative angle. I know the reason why, but you're not going to get marks for, you're not going to get any mark allocation for knowing why cos is not affected by a negative angle. So we have tan of a negative angle. Yes, tan is affected by a negative angle, so we'll be having negative tan theta divided by, we have sine of 360 degrees minus. Now this is 360, right? And then we are going below it, so we are on the fourth quadrant, and sine is negative, so we will be having negative sine theta multiplied by, now 720 is a huge angle. We need to reduce it to 180 or 360 or 90 degrees. So the closest angle that we can reduce 720 to is actually 360. Why? Because when you multiply 360 by 2, you get 720. So we are just going to rewrite 720 in terms of 360. So we'll be having tan of 360 degrees times 2 plus theta. Now it is in a form that we can totally understand, because we can now say we have tan of 360 plus, but we have two 360s here. We're going to have negative multiplied by negative, you will get a positive, and we need to expand tan theta, so we will be having cos theta times tan theta is sine theta divided by cos theta, right? Divided by negative sine theta multiplied by, now tan theta, tan of 360 plus, that's the first quadrant, and tangent is positive, so we will be having tan theta. But then we are going to immediately expand our tan, so we'll be having sine theta divided by cos theta. Now we need to simplify this. In our numerator we have cos theta divided by 1 is being multiplied by sine theta divided by cos theta. Cos theta is going to multiply sine theta and 1 is going to multiply cos theta. So we will be having cos theta multiplied by sine theta divided by cos theta. Then we have our bigger division line. In our denominator we have negative sine theta divided by 1 is multiplying sine theta divided by cos theta. We will be having negative sine theta multiplying by sine theta, so we will have negative sine squared theta divided by 1 multiplied by cos theta is cos theta. You can see that we have cos theta times sine theta divided by cos theta. This cos is going to be divided by this cos and we will be having 1, right? And this 1 is going to multiply sine theta, so we will be having sine theta divided by negative negative sine squared theta divided by cos theta. Now this is a bit complex, so we need to simplify this. We have this is our division line, and this sine theta is divided by a fraction, right? So in order for us to not get confused, we need to use the division sign. So we will be having sine theta, and sine theta is actually divided by 1, right? Is divided by our denominator is negative sine squared theta divided by cos theta. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this division sign into a multiplication sign. Now the minute I do that, what we have on this side, our denominator will become our numerator and our numerator will become our denominator. So we will be having cos theta divided by negative sine squared theta. Now we have multiplication between two fractions, so the numerators are going to multiply one another and the denominators are going to multiply one another. So we will be having sine theta multiplied by cos theta divided by negative sine squared theta. Now somebody can already see that 1 sine theta from the numerator is going to be divided by one of the 2 sine thetas that were multiplied to get what we have as our denominator. But I'm going to expand this so that it is simpler to see. So we have sine theta multiplied by cos theta is divided by negative sine theta times sine theta. So this is similar to this. This sign is going to cancel with this sign and we will be having cos theta divided by a negative sine theta. Now this is where one of our identities is going to be involved. So you know that tan theta is equal to sine theta divided by cos theta, right? And tan theta is actually divided by 1. What would happen if you make cos the numerator and make sine the denominator? You're going to have cos theta divided by sine theta, right? And this will force you to make 1 your numerator and tan theta your denominator. So you will be having 1 over tan theta. But in this case, one of our trig ratios is negative, so we have negative 1 over tan theta. So this is simple enough for you to leave it like this, but I just like to show them that I know that this is the is it an inverse or reciprocal, something like that, negative 1 over tan theta. So let's check whether or not we got this right. So remember that the answer that we need to get should be negative square root of 3, right? When we replace our thetas with 30 degrees, right? So let's start with this one. We have division. Cos of 30 degrees divided by negative sine of 30 degrees. So this is correct. What about this one? We have negative 1 divided by tan of 30 degrees. So this is also correct. So I'm telling you right now, there is no way you can get a 0. These are the easiest questions in trigonometry. So do it the same way I do it, and you will get your 7 marks or 5 marks. I don't know the mark allocation. Thank you for watching.
It's easy to see when you look at me. If you look closely, Mystic don't back down. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, so that you can get that A in mathematics. Leave a comment down below if you have a question. Mystic will make sure you get the answer.
Leave a like and share this video with your friends, so that we can all be good.
Thank you for watching.